Yo, welcome to the South Pod, where we cover the stats, the scores, and the surprising storylines of the NFC South. My name is Corey. I'm representing from the Tampa Bay area. I got with me my boy Telly, my boy Will, and my boy Rich representing their respective teams, and we're gonna tap right into it. About this week 3 that we had going on. Rich, Rich, you the only one that won this week, man. How you feeling?
Got that big ass smile on his face.
You see that smile, bro?
Absolutely, man.
Can't even see your damn eyes right now.
Hey, I know. Hey, absolutely, man. I gotta give a big kudos to the Andy Dalton and actually everybody, man, at the Panthers for actually getting us off the snide and actually putting us a W in the win column. So that's a big up for those guys, man. And before I actually get into a couple of questions, man, let me read some stats off, man, from this actually last week's game against the Raiders, man. As you guys probably know, Andy Dalton's now is 5-0, against the Raiders. All right, 5-0 against the Raiders, but hell of a game, hell of a performance. He was 26 for 37 for 319 yards with 3 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard ran the ball 21 times at 114 yards with additional 5 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. And Deontay Johnson showed up with 8 receptions, 122 yards, and a touchdown. The Panthers offense actually looked more than a high school football team this week and put up a total of 437 yards. But more importantly, and what I think is important to all Panthers fans around there, they had no turnovers. So with that performance, man, I want to ask you fellas, does that performance by Andy Dalton, spell doom for Bryce Young, or is it too early to actually to depict that, or to say that that's the end for Bryce Young? What do you think about that, Telly?
I think it's too soon for us to write that man off. Do I think he should be better off in a different organization? Hell yeah. Andy Dalton, he probably gonna give y'all 2 good games, and then we're gonna see the Andy Dalton of old. So there's a reason why he ain't a starting quarterback around the league. That's all gonna come out. We'll see, because y'all organization is, as I said last week, from the top to the bottom, they need to get the hell out of there.
What's your take, Will?
I will agree with Telly. But Andy Dalton played his ass off. Everybody's eyes did this, and y'all, everybody's eyes was like, damn, Andy Dalton was balling. I do want to see Bryce Young play some more. We all know Andy Dalton. I know Andy Dalton. So it's basically, we're gonna see what the next game holds. Now, if he come out there balling like he did today, last week or Sunday rather, he's gonna be a little force to be reckoned with. But I want to see Bryce Young because I like my black quarterbacks.
So
I want them to rotate him a little bit, man.
Corey, I see your face, man. What's your take, man? I think I know why. But what's your take, bro?
I'm just messing with him.
Oh my God! What? Ooh. Huh? Okay, first of all, I'm gonna just speed right past what you just said, because wow. Anyway, Andy Dalton made Bryce Young look bad. That's not a good look for him. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not. He comes in the game and the whole team steps up their performance. So what does that tell you? They don't believe in the young fella.
Yeah.
They don't believe in him. So he need a new situation. At the end of the day, you don't want to give him on him because you invested in him. He's a first-round draft pick. So
and that's why I'm at.
Yeah, but it got to do with him being black, Will. Golly, bro.
I know.
I looked at the league like he on speed and rack past that. But Telly and I had a conversation. Earlier. I know he felt like it was too early to actually give up on him, though. But something that you just mentioned, Corey, and when I was watching the game, man, I kind of thought the same thing. some of the plays were some of the same plays they were calling for Bryce Young. But I thought with Andy Dalton coming in there, he kind of executed a little bit better. And I also thought to a certain degree, those guys in the locker room played a little bit harder for Andy Dalton than they did for Bryce Young.
Yes.
You guys agree with that?
Absolutely. Man, there was one throw I saw Andy Dalton throw the red. I call him the red rocket for that particular throw. Y'all saw that seam route to the tight end? Down the middle of the field. Yes, where they got to the goal line before they scored.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, Bryce ain't seeing the field like that. He's not seeing the field, and that's the thing. He too small, and you got to move the pocket for him. So Andy stood back there, and he's seeing everything, man. That boy was on point. Everybody was on point that Sunday. So
and probably a better throw, in that game was the one he threw to Adam Thielen. Unfortunately, Adam Thielen got actually hurt, but that was a dime.
Got hurt.
That ball he threw to Adam Thielen.
That sound like deja vu. Adam Thielen got hurt. Damn.
Yeah, I know, right? The old guy.
In all honesty, I want to give the young man the opportunity. That's my biggest thing. And maybe he might not be a fit for Carolina, but I would like to see him. I would really like to see the young brother play.
So time would actually tell, man. I guess these upcoming weeks and these upcoming matchups, in particular, I'm actually interested to see the game against Cincinnati, being that Andy Dalton played for Cincinnati, so I think he's going to come out there with a little something extra. And if he actually plays really well against Cincinnati, I think that probably put an extra nail in the coffin. But time will tell with that as we move on and further progress into the season. Just talking about my Panthers a little bit more before we actually move on. What did you guys think Andy Dalton did better on the field than Bryce Young? Because I've been looking at a lot of commentators, and a lot of them are already writing Bryce Young off. So in your guys' opinion, what are some of the things, man, y'all thought that Andy Dalton brought to the table did a little bit better than Bryce Young in this early season so far?
Read the
leadership.
field.
Okay. Corey said leadership. What about you, Will?
He read the field. He read the hell out of the field, man. You seen him switch up every time. Every time, whoever he was going, he switched it up. Hey, he balled, bro. He really balled. And shot, and not to take away from Andy Dalton, but Hubbard, bro, that boy ran the ball for y'all. I gotta give him his props, man. That boy ran the hell out of that ball. Woo! Yeah, y'all showed, as we say, showed y'all ass this Sunday.
What's your take, Telly?
I think Corey made a very valid point. His first comment about Andy Dalton, he basically won the locker room, right? So it's not nothing that we saw on the field. We saw the results of what happened in the locker room. We saw it on the field. So I think that, you get people, behind you and rooting for you like that. I mean, people play different, and that's what we saw. And to me, that's a disservice to Bryce Young. He a young man. Y'all been on the field a long time. Y'all have to step up for him and try to, help that transition. If you didn't believe him when you drafted him, then that's cold-blooded. But you set him up for failure. I think that he gets a chance somewhere else. Maybe he'll get some love and a better situation, because I think the kid. I know the kid has talent. I watched him play in Alabama. He got plenty of talent. So, but that's what I think is Andy Dalton won the locker room first.
No, and that's a very good point, man. And I agree with you too. And that's why, I think, from top to bottom, the organization does need some actually changes, being a Carolina fan for a long time. And I think they put too much pressure on him just coming out of college, being the number one pick, and thinking instantly that he should play. I think that was a mistake. They should have actually sat him on the bench, gave him a little bit of time to actually see some type of veteran, whoever we would have brought in, how to go out there and conduct yourself as a professional and learn how to read, the defenses and make those good decisions. Because I think one of the key differences that I saw from Andy Dalton and Bryce Young is a lack of confidence. Andy Dalton went out there and he wasn't afraid to put that ball out there. He threw that ball in places like, he's like, damn, that takes some significant touch. The touchdown pass, the Adam Thielen, the touchdown pass to Deontay Johnson. Bryce Young wouldn't even make those throws. You know, so Bryce Young last week or the week before against San Diego run to the sideline instead of throwing the ball out of bounds. He took an unnecessary sack. So to me, that speaks a lot about your confidence. All right. So moving on, man. Just to talk a little bit more in depth about the NFC South, as we already alluded to when we mentioned, Carolina was the only team in the NFC South to get a win this past week. So all you guys
Don't rub that in now. Don't rub that in.
you know, I gotta go in and tell you because you didn't hold back. You didn't hold back. First, from all the games from the NFC South, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your team. Which team in the NFC South had the most disappointing week and why? Coming at you first, Tally.
Oh man, I think it's easy. It from a score perspective, it'd probably be easy to pick on Corey, but also stay in the same lane from a score perspective. I'm picking on the freaking Saints. How the hell y'all put up 91 points in freaking first 2 weeks, and then y'all put what 12 points, 13 points, and 12. Yeah, 12 field goals. I mean, they shut y'all down. I'm like,
hey, I'll go ahead and say it, man.
Yeah,
they're not our number. We made some mistakes, but I'll say this, and I'm being a realist, keeping it a buck. The score should have been higher with Philly mollywopping us. And I'm just saying, because 3 times they went for it, and they should have kicked field goals.
Right.
Hey, I call a spade a spade. We got to go back in the damn dungeon.
Right.
So Will, I hate to interrupt you, but y'all lost, so I'm gonna interrupt you. So was Sunday's performance the real Saints? Is that what you're trying to say?
I wasn't the real Saints. No. Hold up now. Because at the end of the day, was that y'all real performance, Tampa?
Ooh,
absolutely.
Denver came in and was walking on y'all test.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you why, but keep going. We're gonna talk about our game. We're gonna keep go ahead, continue.
So who was your most disappointing team, Will? Was it your Saints or was it another team that stood out in the NFC South to you?
I gotta say my team. I honestly thought we was gonna pull that off by 3. Now, the way Philly played, Philly had our number. They was just going at us, bro. We made some good plays, but I will say Carr being Carr, he has to give at least one. And that INT, hey, it is what it is. So disappointment would be us in Philly. It's New Orleans versus the Eagles, and that's just me.
Okay. Over to you, Corey. Who was your most disappointing team?
First of all, I don't like this line of questioning. It's pretty aggressive, and you're being a bully. I feel like it's aimed at me. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, we all know it was the Bucks. Reason being, you lost to Denver, a rebuilding team that's 0-3. After beating the Detroit Lions with reserves, you had reserves on the defense, and they played well to beat Detroit, a contender, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So they beat a contender. Then you come back the next week, and you play Denver 0-3, and you look like a pretender with the same lineup. You couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. Bo Nix was looking like a world beater out there. Now, mind you, the good thing about, I don't do moral victories, but ain't nobody scored a passing touchdown on us in 3 games.
That's a good point. Good point.
They haven't scored a passing touchdown on us. So he ran around the field. He threw it all across the field, but he couldn't put it in the end zone. So Sean Payton's record against Todd Bowles is 7-0. He averages 30 points a game against Todd Bowles' defenses with 4 different quarterbacks, y'all. 4. Oof. And this particular one happens to be a rookie. Come on, man. So that's my biggest disappointment. You cannot be you cannot claim yourself a contender and you still playing like the old you. I told y'all last week that's what they was going to do, and they didn't. They proved me right. So we already know what's going on. Shout out to my boy Q and my boy Tate in the chat. You know, Q said we got to eat that.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Bad loss.
And you know, You know, I echo those same sentiments, Corey. Last week you did say that this was a trap game for you guys, and for me, I agree with you that for me that was probably the most disappointing game of the week. For the simple fact that we've been talking about this a while as far as Atlanta and Tampa Bay being the perennial front runners in the NFC South, and they go out there and particularly lose to Bo Nix and the damn Denver Broncos. Knowing damn well all the fans was using gummies and all kinds of stuff, so they were lit. And to see that performance, but what more important to me, it was kind of concerning. I'm not sure if it's concerning to you. They gave up 7 damn sacks. 7 sacks, bro. That's concerning. I still think the positive about all of it, that I see that Baker and Chris Godwin got something special brewing. They still got that connection, man. I mean, it still ended up in an actually loss, but Baker was 25 for 33 for 163 in that touchdown. And that touchdown came to Chris Godwin, who had 6 receptions and 53 yards in that score. And, Bucky Irvin, I think he's going to be the emerging back. Like you stated before, he had 9 carries for 70 yards. So I think there's some positives out there. But for me, that probably was one of the most disappointing losses, out of everybody in the NFC South. This actually.
But would you think that Sean Payton had Tampa's number, though? That's why I'm thinking.
I mean, if you look at the analytics and you look at the records, I would say yes. Corey mentioned that too. I would say yes.
21-11 against Tampa.
Yeah. So just like you stated, Sean, out of all the coaches in the NFL, Sean Payton is probably one I strongly dislike. Just for his personality and his interpersonal skills with his players and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's another story.
I'm with you on that, Rich. I can't stand it.
Yeah, it just I don't think that the type of person he is actually conducive to actually building some of those young players on those team or building some of those veteran players more so than actually just piss them off and actually, hey, I want to get out of here and continue my career somewhere else. And you see those guys have a level of success. All right. So with that being said, and we talked a little bit about some of the most disappointing teams that we thought from this actually past week. For each one of you individually, what do you think you need to see from your team to improve upon the upcoming week to get a W against their opponent? We're going to start with you, Will.
I think Carr needs to come out playing aggressive like he played the first 2 games. He played timid against Philly, and that's just my take on it. I think he played a little timid. We ran the ball. They had our number with Kamara. He got 83 yards, but I'm just saying they had our number. We got outcoached. I will say that we got outcoached,
outplayed, outfanned, out everything.
Everything. What about you, Corey? What are some of the things you think the Bucs need to do?
Well, hopefully Todd Bowles came in on Monday and he burned that game film in front of the team and said, "Hey, ain't nothing else to talk about. We ain't even gonna talk about that because I don't want to remember it. Because I was talking to my boys all week, man. I get mad every morning when I wake up because I have a new thought about that game. They basically we need to be healthy. Basically, we should get Vita Vea back and Kancey probably playing his first game. We're going to get our right tackle back, Gadecki. I don't know what the injury report said. I didn't look, but he should be back. So that'll solve the sack problem right there because Baker had already been sacked 11 times. He ain't gonna hold up if he keep getting sacked like that. That's mainly so we get our right tackle back and our offensive coordinator learns that Mike Evans is on the team. 3 catches for 42 yards against Patrick Surtain. When Mike is a Hall of Famer, you only go at him 3 times. So that's why when you said Godwin and Baker got the chemistry, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But you got to go to the dog, man.
Yeah.
When it's crunch time, you got to go to the dog. Liam Cohen said he do players over plays. That was his my philosophy. Players over plays. So that's telling me, hey, when we need to play, you go on the mic, but you didn't. So get back to who they proclaim themselves to be, because right now, I don't know what to tell you, Rich. That game last week, I don't know who we are. I don't.
I felt like that the first 2 weeks, so I'm glad that you guys are experiencing this, and this is very enjoyable to me. So, what about you, Telly?
Hey man, that's all I can say.
Whatever, Carolina. Whatever.
We need to be some goddamn head busters. That's what it is. You can't have a damn 4th and inches and try to do a outside damn run. That what the hell was that? You just man on man, take that joker right up the middle and just go for what you know. If you don't feel like you have the what's that called, the tush push that Philly got or whatever, then bring in one of them big ass linemen, Brady Jarrett, put his ass as a fullback and send him right up the middle. I guarantee you, ain't nobody gonna stop that big ass joker for about 3 inches. No, it ain't happening. So for me, I've been my complaint is my offensive coordinator. I am not comfortable with that dude. I know we're going into week 4, but these are crucial games, right? And I know our first few games was tough games against some very tough opponents, but when we clicked and looked great was that last minute and 39 seconds against Philly. Why? Because his ass wasn't calling no plays. That was all Kirk Cousins in a 2-minute drill, calling it everything on the field himself. That's the reason why that team clicked and moved down the field like it was nothing, right? So you take him off the helm and put that clown Zach Robinson in charge of calling plays, man. I don't know what the hell that dude be thinking. First drive of the game, we looked great. I was like, man, I said, this is my team? Okay, all right, then. And then it took Kansas City a little bit to get down the field. Couple of, gimmies on that 4th and whatever. They didn't get that first down because I was in the stadium and everybody was like, oh, that's over. We get the ball back. Kansas City fans looking all sick. Ninja was at first down. I said, there ain't no damn first down. He was short by a mile. But nope, they gave it to him. So I'm not the call. I'm not even worried about that. But for us, we definitely need to our offensive coordinator get his shit together. That's flat out. Him and Raheem need to have a man-on-man conversation in the bathroom and smack the hell out of his ass and get it right.
I got something later, man, about Raheem that you mentioned it though. But from my perspective, looking at that game, that was a horrible fucking call.
No call.
Run, and basically a toss to the outside instead of going straight forward when you got Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. That made no sense to me whatsoever, because that's essentially, costing yourself the game. That play remind me of the dumbass play call Pete Carroll made in the Super Bowl to throw a pass instead of giving to Marshawn Lynch.
And just let him go.
Oh, yeah.
Some things are like, you just question, it's like, what the hell are those guys actually thinking?
Right.
But for me, man, I think as we move into the next game against Cincinnati, we have to actually maintain some consistency. That offensive line was played the best I've seen them play all year. Have to actually maintain that, going into this game with Cincinnati. I think we got a leg up on Cincinnati for the simple fact that I think there's some locker room issues going on over there. That's clear. The way that the Commanders beat up on them boys, and just to there were some bright spots and stuff, but the way the Commanders beat up on those boys, and I know Cincinnati is a favorite because they're Cincinnati, the star talent quality that they have on that team, with those LSU boys being in Jamar Chase and actually Joe Burrow. Long as we can maintain some consistency, play within the system, Andy Dalton get out there and, play within his capabilities, I think we'll be all right. I think we need to improve upon some things as well. Because it's still actually an uphill challenge that we have to face as far as getting better as a team and as an organization. And hopefully some of these injuries with some of our key players, they can come back and be able to contribute. But as long as we maintain that consistency and play the way that we did last week, I think we'll be all right. My original, prediction to get eight victories, I think that's within reach. So that's what I think that we have to actually do. But Telly, you mentioned Raheem Morris basically taking the offensive coordinator out to the woodshed and whipping his ass. I was watching his post-game interview and stuff, Raheem Morris that is, and one of the questions that was asked, and I know we were chatting about it, via text during the game, was that play to Kyle Pitts. And the reporter asked him, was like, "Hey, what do you think about that?" And he basically said that he loves his money. He doesn't want his money taken away. What Arthur Blank, pays him because he didn't want to basically badmouth the officials. So my question to you, do you think that he should have spoke up and said something about the officials and just took that on the chin, or he should have just stayed put?
Nah, I mean, it's early in the season, so sometimes as a coach, we know playing against Kansas City is in New England, right? So they're gonna get certain calls go their way to help them win, because Kansas City winning, they continue to set the narrative in football that they can be the first team to three-peat, right? And so if you keep
talking about conspiracies, but go ahead.
Yeah, you said it. I did. I ain't say it. You said it. but real talk, it's we're gonna get some calls. We ain't gonna get some calls, especially against teams like that. So I think he did the right thing. You don't want to piss some referees off, because being a referee myself, I remember coaches. Oh, okay. Well, you want to talk? Okay, cool. I'll see you again. Yeah. And that flag ain't gonna drop at the time you need it to drop. It always gonna drop at the time you don't want it to drop. So, yeah, it happens. But I think he did the right thing by not making a big deal of it, because even without that, you look at the coaching decisions on the play calls, we still had a chance to win the game even without that. Right. So and as a head coach, you gotta sometimes take the lead and say, look, bro, just run that joker up the middle. We ain't doing that other fancy crap. Because that play, that's our bread and butter play, but it hadn't worked all game. They studied that. They were practicing and ready to defend that play. So we killed Philly with it, but we couldn't do the damn thing with them with it. So you got to switch again.
That play, that stretch play, not pitch play, but the stretch play. I wanted to talk about that one again. Didn't y'all lose two starting linemen?
We did, but they was on the right side. We lost our center and our right tackle.
On the right side. So that explains why they tried to run the stretch play to the left, to the strong side of the line. Right. But I think they should have ran off tackle with Algier.
I do too.
Great.
It shouldn't have been a stretch. It should have been an off tackle.
Right.
Because y'all got a hellified line. That was an easy make.
Mate. When we are running team. Our linemen are made for running, not pass blocking. So that's what I'm saying. If we made that play way more difficult than it had to be. Now, taking that from Bolton, he made a hell of a play. Because it is hard to take Bijan down one-on-one sometimes. And he shot the gap. Huh?
He shot the gap with ease.
He shot the gap hard. He read the play well, and he reacted and just went. And you gotta get it. Tip your hat to the man. He made a great play. We just had a bad play call.
Do you guys think that talking to Corey and Will, do you guys think that Raheem Morris should have called out the refs, especially when we talked about actually looking at Kansas City play? I think in at least two of those games, the refs definitely bailed them out. So do you think, first to you, Corey, do you think Raheem Morris should have said something and took it on the chin by calling out the refs? Or he should have just, like Telly said, just let it go?
This will probably be the last time I get a Falcons credit. So,
especially playing next week,
right?
Yeah,
he did. Raheem did the right thing, because I think Raheem sees what I see. They are one play away from being 3-0 in every single game.
Mm-hmm.
They are very competitive, and he liking what he's seeing. And like Telly said, we about to enter the division gauntlet here pretty soon, starting next week. Because me and Telly them play back-to-back, games, and we play the Saints or whatever. So in a few weeks, it's going to be a clear-cut number one in the division in about 3 more weeks. And I think he likes what they looking like. So he's just like, all right, it was the Chiefs. We went toe-to-toe with the champs. It is what it is. I'm going to take it out on the division. So he didn't have to say nothing. The team already know. And I don't think they were really too much worried about beating the Chiefs. They like us. They focused on what we're going to do inside the division. So, he didn't have to say nothing.
What's your take, Will?
Same thing. He didn't have to say nothing because the last thing you want to do is, like Telly said, mess with somebody that could actually make or break a game. But should it be, on the radar for folks? I would say yes. Yes, it should be on the radar. People should call them out. But for right now, let's see how the season move along. But no, call the refs out, man, because we all know what they do.
Yeah, in my opinion, I agree with all you guys. I just, sometimes I see the rebel side of me, and I think like, hey, you should call those fuckers out for the simple fact that you want to put guys on notice. Stepping a little bit outside of the conference. I watched, the interview with Antonio Pierce once they lost, to the Panthers. And, he said a couple guys on his teams made business decision, but as a coach, he's going to make some business decision. Basically just call him. He didn't call him out by name, but he basically said that, you know what, I'm going to put them on Front Street and we're actually going to correct this problem, probably behind door. So when I was just looking at that, with, Raheem Morris comments and stuff, I was like, man, you should have made something known. I know you don't want to affect your pockets. Nobody wants anybody to affect their pockets and stuff, but I was looking for a little bit more to be said. But I definitely get it, man. I understand it's young in the season, stuff like that. There's plenty more football to actually be played. So I definitely, respect him as a coach and, as an individual, what he's done in the league. So I totally get that, man. So, man, let's
smart ball.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
smart ball.
So let's transition a little bit, man. Let's talk about some of the key takeaways that you guys saw across the league that stood out to you. And I mean, there was a bunch of moments, but I just want to hear you guys' perspective on what were some of the key takeaways that you took from the games across the league. That wasn't actually particularly, pertaining to the NFC South. Telly, what were some of the things that stood out to you, brother?
Man, I said it on my Facebook page that Jaden Daniels, man.
Yeah,
that boy got a problem, boy. He's gonna be a problem, man. He's gonna be a problem. Oh my goodness. I enjoyed watching that kid play. I enjoyed watching him play when he played at Bucks, and I liked the things that he did. And then watching from when he played them to this past weekend, going toe-to-toe in that game, the kid didn't flinch, man. He seemed calm and cool about everything he did. He was laughing at stuff. He got cracked one good time on a run. He slid. He still got cracked. He got up, put the ball down, then talked no smack, but he was laughing about the hit. And then that 3rd and 7, man, to seal the game, that pass, he dropped that mug in the basket, dude. I'm like, the defense cornerback was there. Perfect location on the sideline. Only person gonna catch that ball is that wide receiver or nobody. And on 37, when he got that end coming down, he gonna get cracked. That young man stood there and dropped in a dime. Tip my hat to that young man. So for me, that was probably that he played probably the most impressive game for me this weekend.
Who picked the Commanders to win last week out of us?
Hold on, check.
Look at this.
It should have been Rich. It should have been Rich. I hope I put it right on that, Telly. Rich did pick him.
Yes.
He did pick him.
Yes.
He said that, no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I put it wrong. He did.
And because of the things that you mentioned, Telly, you can tell, man, that boy, he's special. And one of the things, when you and I was texting back and forth, you made a comparison to Donovan McNabb, and I was like, damn. I was like, okay, I can see that to a certain extent. Like, are you talking about the Donovan McNabb at Syracuse or the early Philadelphia Eagles Donovan McNabb? So, just curious, what was your thought about that, man, as your comparison?
It was Syracuse early Phillies. I mean, Donovan got good as a pocket passer as his years
later on in his career, absolutely,
because he couldn't run the ball as well. But from early on in his career with the Eagles, comparing him to Jaden, because Donovan wasn't fast, but he could get away when he needed to get away, right? And he was just as good of a passer in the pocket as he was on the move. And I see the same thing with Jaden. Their poise, their toughness. I think that's to me what stood out. I had to think about a player, a quarterback that kind of emulated the same play. Their body structure is different. Donovan more. But play wise, I think that's what I saw when I watched him, man. And I was a big McNabb fan. I watched him, and I went to Syracuse a few times to see him play in person. So, that's what it was, man.
So, Will, what was one of the big takeaways from you, man, from around the league from this past week?
Just one takeaway, and I'm gonna brag on him. The little cat, Keon Coleman, from out of Buffalo, hometown.
Okay,
he's from Opelousas, Louisiana. Big ups to the little kid. He got his first touchdown.
For sure.
Hey, big ups to him. I knew he was from Louisiana. I didn't know he was from the same hometown.
Yeah,
as you guys. So definitely big up
to Keon Coleman.
Definitely good to see. He scored his first career touchdown, and I was watching some of the his kind of documentary to a extent when he first went to the Bills and just listened to him. He's a funny kid. He's very funny. So that was definitely good to see that he got his first career touchdown last week in Buffalo. We're not even gonna go and touch that, but they
they tough.
Did their thing.
Josh looking tough this year, man.
Woo-wee.
Boy looking tough.
So that was my one takeaway, man. Big ups to him.
Corey, what was your takeaway, man, from last week, brother?
All right, I wrote down Jaden Daniels. Glad we got him the first game, week 1. He wasn't ready.
Hey, true.
My second take was Seattle might be a problem.
Facts.
Ain't nobody talking about them, but they might be a problem.
Yeah.
My next take was I'm wondering when the Vikings gonna fall off. That was my take. And then, can we please stop giving the Bengals so much love? Because you ain't done nothing.
Nothing.
You haven't done anything. True. You went to Super Bowl and you lost. So, and what makes y'all so whatever? Stop giving. They not who they think they are. They're not. That was my take from this week.
We're gonna find this weekend because they play them red hot Carolina Panthers, boy. You know what I'm saying?
I can't walk my down because of the lava. Woo-wee.
They play the red hot Panthers this weekend in Carolina at that too, boy. Ooh, it's gonna be a wet bowl because it's gonna rain this weekend.
We're sizzling, but
Seattle looking pretty good, fellas. I went back and watched a recap of their games. What the coach Mike McConnell, youngest coach in the league or whatever.
Yeah, got
a young team, and Geno is doing his thing still. He ain't riding back as usual.
Yeah, Geno looking good, and what's the wide receiver name, man? Little short dude.
Lockett.
That dude, man, he take his helmet off. He should be in a retirement home.
That boy
Hey, what do you call that thing, man, when those kids grow older than what they're supposed to be? They're 70 years old.
The Benjamin Button.
Button, man. Yeah.
Hey, but that dude is still catching the rock, man.
Yes,
you can count that dude. He will get open. He will find him. He'll take the big hit when he had to, but he'll avoid him for the rest of the game as well. So, but I got to give props to that because he ain't talked about, but
you're right, Taylor. He's probably one of the most consistent, underrated wide receivers that we have in the game, and because of the market right now in Seattle, you don't hear a lot about him because he's not one of those perennial guys. When you have a DK Metcalf on your team, when you actually look at Tyler Larkin and you look at CeeDee Lamb, you look at Jamar Chase, JJ, and all those other guys, Mike Evans. So he's not one of those perennial household names, but Very consistent, man. It can shows up to work every Sunday when you give him an opportunity. Very reliable.
Yeah, from 2019 to 2022, man, he had 4 back-to-back or 4 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
For me, what stood out the most was a former Carolina Panther. I despise all USC quarterbacks because I think they all suck. But Sam Darnold, man. Sam Darnold in Minnesota. And that's going to be a segue to something that I'm actually going to talk about later, which you mentioned, Telly. He threw for another 4 touchdowns, man.
Yeah.
He got hurt during the game, but he threw for another 4 touchdowns. He's leading the league right now in touchdown passes. And to do that against, I thought, a pretty decent Houston team, that was probably one of the most impressive things to me that I saw this past week, given how Sam Darnold performed against the Houston Texans and stuff. And something that you mentioned, Telly, I think Corey mentioned it too about the Bucks. When we talk about like who is actually contenders and who's actual pretenders, I'm hearing all this talk about other analysts talking early on and basically just talking out the side of the neck. I think that Sam Darnold right now could potentially be an NFL MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So based off that talk and based off, what these teams are doing right now, in your opinion, who is actually a contender and who is actually a pretender? I'm going to go with you, Will, first.
Who is contending and who is pretending? Whew, that's a rough one. I think we are all looking good right now, man. We have our hiccups, but honestly, we all could possibly be contenders, bro. And are you
particularly talking about the NFC South? I'm talking about
yes.
I'm talking about okay, because I'm just talking about league wide. But I appreciate you putting the Carolinas being in Contenders. I thank you very much.
I give people props when they're
cash app, bro. Don't block your blessing.
Hey, my cash app is.
That boy said Carolina Contenders. Let that sink in. A Saints fan.
He's probably drinking more than I have.
Props just do. Hey, it is what it is. We will see. All right, but for me, I'm gonna stick with my NFC South, but I'm looking at between Baltimore and, as far as AFC, Baltimore and Buffalo.
Are contenders?
Yeah.
So who are your pretenders? Who's out there right now, in your opinion, that the league is saying they're hyping them up and giving them all this?
Well, shit, them daggone cowgirls. I can't stand them anyway. But them damn cowgirls.
Okay. Gotcha. Corey.
All right. NFC South, everybody but Carolina. NFC East. NFC East right now, I'm gonna just have to say the Eagles based on what we've seen.
Okay.
NFC West, that's who we got.
Yeah, Frisco,
San Francisco, Seattle,
Rams, Arizona.
I hate San Francisco so much. Oof. That's my inside voice. My bad.
Seattle and San Fran. San Fran, they'll be all right once they get their players back. So them out of the West. AFC, Kansas City Chiefs and the Ravens. Nobody else matters.
Gotcha. So everybody else is pretty much pretenders.
Yes, sir.
So you think the Steelers are pretenders? We're talking about the AFC?
Fuck yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, they're gonna run out of juice with field goals, man. I know Fields is. I give him credit. He's in a controlled environment. He's doing well, but eventually they're gonna run into a team that will be able to put up points, and they're gonna have to come back, which is going to put Fields and Arthur Smith in territory that they don't do well in. Arthur Smith, he does well when you're up. Defense is playing well, and he can control the clock with the run game with the quarterback, run game with the running backs, which they got, decent two running back committee, Warren and Najee Harris. But when they get behind on some of these high scoring offenses, they're gonna be in trouble. So
they got to throw eventually, Rich. They got to throw eventually, and that's when we gonna see what it really is, because it ain't happening right now. Like Telly said, all these field goals that ain't happening no more. Defense don't win championships anymore like that. Well, yeah, like Ray Lewis was like, "Yo, y'all get us 10 points and we'll stop them from there." That's not that. That's not the league anymore. So it's cute. They 3-0. It's real cute right now. So hey, hats off to them, man. They 3-0, but they ain't gonna stay that way.
No, they got a little cake schedule right now because they're gonna play Indy next this week. Then they play Dallas. We don't know which Dallas team they're gonna get. And then especially if Dallas can't show up to run. Yeah. Right. That's Dallas's biggest problem right now. The teams that they got mollywopped by is teams that can run the ball on them all day. And, Alvin Kamara he got his whole contract signed, sealed, and delivered against that in that one team. And won that one game. He don't even do nothing else for the rest of the year. He gonna get paid.
Bro, and like I was saying, man, too, with the on Rich's moment, we're talking about Dallas is giving up 185 yards on the ground, man. Mm-hmm. And I was joking, my daughter's 5'2", 40 speed. She
no, you wouldn't. I think you're trying to undersell her, man. I think she got at least 4'9" in her, dog. Come on.
Hey, she's fast though, bro. But she easily, gain 90 yards against those boys. But for me, man, I think right now, the pretenders are the Steelers, like you guys said. And I think, I say that for the simple fact that everybody's actually talking about the Steelers defense. They're talking about J.J. Watt and what those guys actually doing. That's all they're talking about. Yeah. That's all they're talking about. And, that's what they're hanging their hat on. And like you guys say, now in the NFL, how they're playing games, you're not going to actually win, a game with the defense. You're going to have to put up points. And I don't think right now Justin Fields is that guy to lead that team into the promised land and give them to an AFC championship, let alone a Super Bowl. As far as contenders, I think there's a couple teams that's out there. I'm still optimistic about the Panthers. Corey said everybody except the goddamn Panthers. I feel optimistic about it. I'm still optimistic about them boys. We're gonna go out there, we're gonna do our things. But as it relates, fans, to the NFC South, I think there's a lot of positive things that we can actually talk about from all the teams respectively. We just need to actually put that together on a weekend basis and actually go out there and perform like we know we can. As far as the league extend, come on now, Corey. What's wrong? You need a seatbelt on? You been drinking?
Rich. Hey, friends don't let friends drive drunk. I'm not gonna let you do that, man. You driving under the influence right now.
Who would I be as a Carolina fan, man, if I don't actually talk positive about my boys and actually give them a little bit of optimism? Whether that materializes, that's a different story. That's a different story. It's any given Sunday. Are we gonna go?
I'll give you a little bit of credit for that, but even with that, you have to tailor your optimism a little bit.
Negative.
That glass ain't that damn tall, Rich. I mean, you got the short brandy glass, dog. You ain't got that good Kool-Aid glass. You know what I'm saying? That Kool-Aid cup, that old plastic cup that we had back in the day from going to McDonald's and getting that Big Mac meal.
As a friend, I would never actually curve my friend's optimism about anything. I'm always going to be positive. If you think that you want to be a pilot and I know you can't even walk across the street fucking straight, I'm still going to actually promote it and push you to be a pilot. I'm just not getting on the fucking plane.
I ain't that kind of friend, Rich. We done got shot at together. We better than that, bro. We ain't going out there.
We don't do that, man. We don't do that. I know the stove hot. I ain't gonna touch it with you.
No, sir.
I'm not doing that. No, sir.
Right.
Hey, but I got another question because we all agree that the Vikings is a hot topic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, Green Bay was up there, with Detroit as being world beaters or whatever. Do you think that Jordan Love is coming back early because of how good the Vikings are playing?
No, I don't think he will. Well, I'll just jump in and answer the question. I don't think they need to rush him back. Their toughest game is next week, probably against Minnesota. Well, this week against Minnesota, and they probably take an L on that one if Brian Flores continues to do what he's been doing to everybody else, and that's scheming up them defenses to make you stupid, right? So when you're on offense, like Sam Darnold, I think that we talked about this a little bit about systems. Like there are certain systems that people can be in, and they look like rock stars. So I think Sam Darnold, again, I'm with you, Rich, on USC quarterbacks. They shine and look great until they get into the league and they become mortal people, right? And he's no different from that. But he in that system, the same system that hey, I hate to say it, Kirk Cousins was in.
Kirk Cousins was in, absolutely.
He shined, right? So I think that it's just a perfect scenario for them. And like I said, if the defense keep playing like they're playing, and they have every right to feel the way they do, because they clicking on all cylinders right now. They make people look stupid out there. That team is going to stay real. So Green Bay, I'm impressed by the young fella being able to do what he does, and the quarterback. I mean, the coach being able to put him in spaces and places and adjust their offense to his skill set. That's impressive for me. So I will say there's a lot of impressive young coaches out here today that's doing a hell of a job running the league. Yeah,
and the caveat off that too, Malik Willis filling in for Jordan Love actually did a hell of a job, against his former team, which in my opinion wasn't hard to do at Tennessee. But he actually played a hell of a game, man. He played a hell of a game, and it's sort of like, hey, a FU to you, so to speak, with his performance out on that field, though. But the Minnesota is a team that I think that has the pieces there. Where would they be at the end of the day? That's still to be kind of determined. Like I'm not a fan, and you got to make me a believer out of USC quarterbacks. The only one that actually even did anything got taken out by Pittsburgh was Carson Palmer. Everybody else sucked. Mr. Butt Fumble with Mark Sanchez. You can even go back to Marinovich, Matt Leinart, Sam Darnold, who's doing his thing right now, so I can't actually put him in that group. Who else we had? Matt Barkley. All these guys, man, they suck coming out of USC. But Sam Darnold is doing his thing because he's thriving in the system in Minnesota, the same system like you alluded to, Telly, that Kirk Cousins, shine in. So it's still to be determined on how well Minnesota is going to play at the end of the season, if they're going to be there at the end of the season. So that's time will tell. Time will tell.
Facts.
I think they'll be there. They're going to be one of the surprise teams that actually, have longevity with winning this year. I think they're going to be there. But I lost my train of thought, man. We're talking about you say you hate USC quarterbacks. It's the same as Alabama quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. What do they do in the league?
That's a great point, man. That's a great point. I think we actually mentioned that too, man. I was actually talking to I think we actually talked about it in the group text before. And it's like, Bryce Young is given an opportunity. Bryce Young given an opportunity, I think that he could shine. And I think if Tua stays healthy without dying on the field, He's actually, which I don't see that, but he can actually shine. But when you look at it and stuff, and people actually like, well, you got Jalen Hurts. Okay, man. I'm still not sold. I mean, Jalen Hurts is a talented quarterback. Well, I would say a talented football player who just happened to be playing that position at quarterback. But when you look at all the other quarterbacks that came out of Alabama, how many of those guys have been successful? I don't know, not one, with the exception of Jalen Hurts, with this because the Super Bowl appearance. I don't know one.
But what are we the definition of success? Are we talking about Super Bowl champion or
Thanks.
Division champion? What are we talking about? What do we mean? Because I personally think Hurts is probably the most successful.
Given his wins and what he's done and his accolades, I would say so as well. But when we measure success, when we look at the NFL, we're talking about wins, we're talking about Super Bowls. Right now, because that's what everybody's deeming, hey, Tom Brady as a GOAT because he has 7 Super Bowl rings as a 6th round draft pick.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
So I think we're looking at wins, and we're looking at the level of success they have as far as MVPs and Super Bowl championships. That's what I look at, but I can't name one quarterback from Alabama outside of Jalen Hurts has done anything.
Yeah. I've given Jalen his credit, man. I mean, I like him as a quarterback personally, so I don't have any issue with him. He does what he can do. I don't need him to be Tom Brady. I don't need him to be,
play within yourself and your capabilities.
Yeah, his capabilities. He's a strong dude that can run the ball when he needs to run the ball. He can throw a good ball. He throws a great deep ball. He worked on his deficiencies, which was reading blitz packages coming off, left, right, whatever, delayed blitzes. He fixed that, so teams can't really blitz him no more like they used to. So to me, if you can do that as a player in the league and still get to where he's at, the only knock I could probably have on him is that he's a very passive leader. He is a leader, but he's just like soft-spoken kind of guy. But that's just his nature. I really can't knock him for his nature.
I wouldn't expect that out of Q, though. He's a Q, so I wouldn't expect that out of Q. But he is very passive.
Sure.
So, hey, let's get into these picks, man, before we actually wrap it up for this actually week 7. First game tomorrow, man. Who you guys got? That team in Lone Star State against the Giants. That's not Houston.
I'm going with the Giants.
I'm a realist, man. Even though we marvel in that other team losing, they're not going to lose that game. I'm not even mentioning their names because that's just how much I don't like them.
I got you. See, so we know who it is.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Corey. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Star. I don't think they're gonna lose to Daniel Jones. Although I like what that little young boy Malik Neighbors is doing. I think those guys with the Star are gonna bounce back, man, to kind of actually take the the heat off them for a little bit, at least for a week.
Nah. Drive that goddamn knee in his daggone chest.
Hey, my boy Tate said, "What's with the Dallas hate, y'all?" He a Cowboys fan.
I see it.
Hey.
All right. Who did you pick, Telly?
I got that team that we ain't gonna name.
Okay, I got you. All right, moving on. New Orleans against Atlanta. Telly.
Oh, you already know how I get. You ain't got to ask me that question.
Corey.
It's going to end in a tie.
All right.
I'm going with my flirt.
I ain't rooting for neither one. That's a tie, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be. Whatever.
I got ATL.
New Orleans by 3.
We already know where you're going with, Will. Los Angeles at Chicago.
I think Chicago.
Rams.
I think Chicago.
I got Cincinnati on that one.
I'm going with the Rams.
I'm sorry. I got Rams. I'm sorry. Rams.
I'm going with the Rams.
I'm in the wrong game.
Minnesota at Green Bay.
Woo!
Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be a good game.
Is Love playing?
I don't know.
Let me-
I didn't see any indication he was. But I'm with you guys. I think he should actually take another game off.
What game we on?
Minnesota and Green Bay.
Oh, I got Minnesota for that one.
It's in Green Bay. If Love plays, I'm still going Minnesota.
I'm gonna give Malik Willis another chance. I'm gonna take Green Bay.
I'm gonna take Green Bay as well.
Come on, man. Let's be real, Rich. I ain't trying to change your mind. Flores is a monster on defense with them schemes.
That's true.
Malik,
Man.
okay, I get it. But
I like him.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
I like him, but
stick to the
Landon
script.
Lambo is a different beast. We're gonna
Yeah,
see.
I think it's going to end up being a offensive shootout between those two teams because you got those two coaches I'm talking about. There are absolutely monsters when it comes down to schemes on offense. So it's gonna be something. So, but I we'll see.
Pittsburgh at Indy.
Indy.
Yeah, Indy.
Ain't nothing else need to be said. Next game.
Indy. What you got?
I got Pittsburgh.
All right. So you believe in them?
Pittsburgh. Because of the defense?
Yes, and they're going, and I have to go against my namesake. You still got to prove something, Anthony. So you have a lot of room to grow.
So, okay, my question to that is, at what point do the offense win the game for Pittsburgh? Because it's going to have to happen eventually.
When they put J.J. Watt on the offense.
TJ?
I mean, I'm sorry, TJ. TJ.
Tired. He ain't coming.
He's taking all these damn commercials.
Hey, in the comments, Jen talking about we just need Justin Fields to be efficient. Man, stop lying to yourself. I know you still sick, Jen.
Who you got, Will?
Hold up. Let's talk about this. Justin, he right though, I tell you. If Justin Fields is efficient, meaning we get more production from him in the passing game, then hey, they might be a problem.
But the problem is Richardson can run the ball. They can't pin their ears back and come at him because that's gonna be a nightmare for them.
And that boy got there too.
I can see where he's coming from when he says he needs Fields to be efficient. That goes back to what Cam said and had everybody up in the uproar. There's a difference between game changers and game managers. All they need Justin Fields to do is actually manage that, and if he can do the simple things as far as running those plays in an efficient manner, I think they'll be okay. But like you said, Taylor, at some point, or you said, Corey, at some point, when is the offense actually going to show up where we're not depending solely on the defense? And I think that's something to be seen, as it relates to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'm still going with the Steelers.
What you got, Will?
Steelers.
I know you want to say it. Say it with your chest.
Denver at the Jets. Denver at New York Jets. I'm going with the Jets.
I'm going with the Jets.
Yeah, Denver's win against us was I'm going with the Jets, man. Yeah.
Hey, did you cover Cincinnati, Carolina? Or are you waiting?
I'm just going straight down this list, man. They're actually 2 away.
Right,
I know y'all want to pick Cincinnati. Y'all already got it. I got Carolina. Since you want to get ahead of it again, Telly.
No, I thought you was trying to say the worst for last. I ain't know.
No, I'm just going straight down this, man. I'm going to keep on the list. I'm not even paying no attention.
I hit him with that Kevin Hart. Damn.
I'm not paying no attention. Hey, Philly at Tampa Bay.
Oof.
I think
we know what Corey got.
TikTok, motherfucker.
I think Tampa Bay bounced back. I got Tampa Bay.
Philly.
Oh, you look confused, dog.
What you got, Will?
I said Philly.
Oh, you said Philly? Yeah, I got Philly.
Corey got Tampa. Hey,
I got my team by default.
hey.
Sure, I know that.
Golly.
So everybody already made their determination about Cincinnati and Carolina. Obviously, I'm going with Carolina. They will win 2 in a row. You guys hear it
I'm
first.
going with Carolina. I'm
Hey, I
going with
appreciate it,
Carolina.
Corey. Hey, I got your drinks on me when I'm down in Florida.
What you got,
Say
Will?
less.
Ooh, I gotta go for them little purring kittens. Yeah, Carolina.
Come on, man. Don't be disrespectful.
Hey, he get one daggone W, and he.
Hey, Battle Cat showed up instead of cringing.
I think Joe Cool gonna get his first W of the day, man. Dwayne said Tampa Bay. Huh?
Not until he changes his hair color. He won't win.
Nah, man, I think they get things right this weekend. They at home.
No, they at Carolina. No, I'm sorry.
Carolina.
Yeah, they at Carolina.
Might as well be at home.
All right. Hey, Jacksonville and Houston.
Houston bounces back.
I'm
They'll
going
be
with
good.
H-Town.
Yeah, I'm all right with H-Town.
I got Houston.
Yo, what's going on in Jacksonville? What's the issue?
Nothing.
Sunshine, man.
I watched the game. I watched the
Sunshine
game.
Ain't no good.
Ooh.
Sunshine.
Ain't no good. We knew that already, though. We knew that when he was at Clemson. They hyped him up because he looked pretty on a Head and Shoulders commercial.
And you don't you bring an Alabama quarterback in there to back you up. And his first play of the game, he fumbles the ball with Mac Jones.
Mackie Jones.
Hey, Commanders at Arizona.
Commanders at Arizona. If Jaden Daniels played the way he did, I'm going Commanders.
I'm riding with Jaden Daniels.
Arizona for me. I'm going with Mighty Mouse. I'm going with Arizona.
Yeah,
it should be a good offensive game. It's going to be a lot of offense, that's for sure.
For sure.
Right. New England. What you got, Telly?
Oh, I got Arizona.
Okay. New England at San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I hope both of them end in a tie.
Even with the depleted offense San Francisco got, I'm still riding with Frisco.
Yeah, I'm going with San Fran too. I think they're a much better team, regardless of the depth chart right now.
The opposite team, just cause.
So
I'm going for the opposite team, just cause.
Hey, Cleveland against the Raiders.
Now that's a garbage bowl.
That is garbage bowl. I got Vegas on that one.
I got Vegas too. I think Antonio Pierce's comments probably gonna light a fire in that locker room. I think those guys gonna actually play a little bit better, and I also think a new charge is gonna come up on Deshaun Watson while he's in Vegas. So I'm riding with Vegas.
Raiders. Tell it.
Hey. We feel your pain, Parker. You say y'all struggling right now.
What's
I don't know
team?
what it is, but I wish I knew.
Hey, KC at the Chargers.
Hey, Parker, let us know what your team is, brother.
KC and the Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all didn't choose Corey and Will. Who y'all going with?
I got the Raiders.
The Raiders fan.
I said the Raiders.
Okay, my bad. I missed it. Mm-hmm. Oh, he right.
I got
KC. Who you got?
I got KC.
Okay.
KC.
How y'all feel about them? Before I pick, I'm sorry, Rich. Before I pick, how do y'all feel about them suspending Derwin James? When this game was coming up, how y'all feel about that?
I think I still would have went with KC. But that's something like, I don't want to get, shot when I leave my house. I think that goes against that's some BS, man. Taking Derwin James off the field, that's huge. That's huge. So hopefully there's no snipers out there. There's a lot of woods by me, so I won't be able to identify it. But I think that's some BS, man. Straight up.
That's what I'm saying. You could have fined him. You didn't have to suspend him. So you knew KC was coming. Come on, man. They just literally rolling out. They paving the way for KC I get it, but let's keep it a buck and make the game legit, man. That
So
was
this
no
next-
reason for him to be suspended.
So this
Right.
next game is going to be a very tough one, very interesting one. Buffalo at Baltimore.
Ooh.
I'm
Yeah.
going with my nephew.
Ooh.
I'm going with Buffalo. So
I'm going with Buffalo.
I'm riding with Baltimore.
I got to see what Keon Coleman going to do, bro.
I'm riding with
Buffalo.
I'm riding with Baltimore. I think they win 2 in a row.
Buffalo, baby.
I'm
Buffalo.
riding, yeah.
Josh Allen, Keon Coleman.
Baltimore got one of the top defenses in the league, this year, even though with the departure of some key players. But I'm riding with Baltimore and Lamar.
All right, so everybody Baltimore except for Corey, right?
Nah, Will got Buffalo too, I think.
I got Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah, Will got Buffalo.
I wanted to make sure I was correct. All right.
All right, the Monday night games. Tennessee at Miami. There's two Monday night games. Tennessee at Miami is the first one.
Tennessee.
Miami still playing? Yo, y'all seen that? Y'all seen that reel with radio warming up in practice? They said,
I missed that.
No, I did not see it.
Hey, no, you remember the movie Radio Telly? Right?
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. I haven't seen the clip though where they talking about him though.
They said
I'm going
that's
with
how
Miami,
Tua
Telly.
gonna be.
That's
Oh
crazy.
man, come on, man.
I got Tennessee. You got
Tennessee.
Miami?
Yeah, I got
I
Miami.
got Tennessee. I got Tennessee.
I got Tennessee as well.
And the second Monday night game, which I think is going to be a good one as well, Seattle at Detroit.
Detroit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now let's.
Detroit.
I'm riding with the Motor City.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good game.
It is.
Yeah,
I
it is.
think Detroit -3. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Well,
It's gonna be a good game.
I'm going the opposite. I'm going with Seattle.
You going with Seattle? They shocked the world, Tilly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they shocked the world. I think they do what we talked about earlier. They look like a strong team. Their defense look good. The offense is playing well. I think Detroit defensively they're okay. They're not as good as they was last year for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but they're not showing me what they did.
I think they're older in the defensive backfield. That's what I think is a key difference. They're a little bit older. Slay got hurt last game. I'm not sure if he's going to play or what his status is on the injured list. But I still think that Detroit will pull it out. That boy Aiden Hutchinson is a monster. He's going to get another 3 sacks next game. Mark that down.
He is, but again, you have a quarterback in Geno Smith that ain't a stationary quarterback.
He's not.
So Hutchinson is, and Seattle has a pretty decent line. So he ain't just walking through nobody over there. He's gonna get some pressures. He might even get a sack, but I don't think he's going to dominate like he did, against Tampa. He had like 5 sacks against y'all,
4.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Why we talking about old stuff? Why we talking about old stuff, man?
I mean, y'all won.
Yeah, we won it. That was against a backup tackle. That was against a backup tackle, man. Hey, these got the Bucks hate, man.
On Monday. That's what I'm calling.
Facts.
Okay, that's all the picks, man. You guys got any last parting words before we conclude this actually episode of the South Pod, man, before we get out here, for all the people that's actually just joining in with us live. I appreciate it, but you guys got any parting words for all of the fans out there?
All I gotta say for all my people, I mean, if y'all rock with us, man, rock with us. Spread the word. Let everybody know what we're doing here. We're trying to represent the South, man, and holla, talk about our teams, passionate about our teams, talk about the league as well. We talked about as well. So we're just 4 dudes that share that Marine Corps blood, and we all did this thing together. We served together at some point in time. and we all, legit friends, and we can talk trash to each other about each other's team, and nobody get any feelings about it. And that's just how it should be. It's how it should be. So, make sure if you feel like that, share this with somebody else, man. And let's increase these numbers. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the link with your people or whatever. And then the last thing I'm gonna ask as a Falcons fan, if you see that referee out in the streets, knuckle up on it.
Hey, Tilly, y'all be in every game though, man. That's the thing. I'm like I told you, y'all looking scary right now because we'll see. Like Tilly said, like and subscribe, man, and then hit me on the side. Let us know what we can improve on. It is what it is. We're gonna keep rocking. So
yeah. Hey, thank y'all for coming out and supporting us as well, man. Much appreciated. We're doing our thing. So, hey, other than that, who that?
Absolutely. And the caveat, what these four gentlemen say. I'm a big advocate, man, of Black love. And to actually have, four Black brothers come together and actually do something positive, put it out there and talk about something that we're passionate about. That's very important. That's very important to me. And that's very important to a lot of people out there. So let's actually support that, man. Go out there and subscribe, give us actually, your no shit, comments about how well we're doing, the good, the bad, and the different. So therefore we can make this something actually better and actually push it on all platforms. So thank you guys for actually supporting us. Come out there every week, every Wednesday. Show your love, man. We're going to give you some content that I don't think you're going to get from an ESPN or all these other bullshit analysts. You're going to get some real talk for some real brothers that share that Marine Corps blood, like Telly said. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Peace.
Much love, fellas.
All right, fellas. I'm out.